This is new cell phone video just into our newsroom. We have learned 10 people are dead. 5 of them are the high school students themselves.
A FedEx truck and a car also involved in this crash. All 3 vehicles still on the roadway, and a northbound stretch of Interstate 5 shut down for at least another hour.
We will have team coverage as this investigation unfolds, but we begin live with Today in the Bay's Sam Brock. He's live near the town of Orland, near the wreckage. Good morning, Sam.
Scott, good morning. Let me bring you the latest of what's going on right now on scene. We have an accident investigation team over my shoulder that's been a little bit more quiet in the last 20 or 30 minutes, but they've essentially been combing this area, trying to find pieces of evidence, perhaps movements from vehicles to try to determine change of direction, what might have caused and spawned that very serious accident. It was only a few hours ago, Scott, that the bodies that were out here covered in tarps were actually removed. And in fact, I'm told that they still don't know definitively what may or may not be inside of that bus and its skeletal remains, which also are still there. What we do know at this point, as you said, is that there have been 10 confirmed deaths, the most recent coming overnight from a severe burn victim who died at UC Davis. We also know the composition of some of the victims at this point. There were 5 students, 3 chaperones, and of course the 2 drivers of the vehicles. But there is plenty that is still trying to be determined, including what catalyzed this entire process. What are they looking at to try to figure out why that FedEx driver ended up careening through oleander bushes, going from one side of the highway to the next and wreaking havoc in the lives of so many.
By doing an autopsy, they're going to be able to determine if there was a medical condition, if the driver was deceased prior to the accident, or if they had a medical issue that caused them to drive over the median, if it was intentional, if it was accidental, if it was negligent driving, evasive action or movement in a steering wheel. All the facts according to speed, applying brakes, turning movements, all the marks that are going to be on the roadway are going to help the MATE team determine what the cause of the accident was.
That was Lacey Heitzman from the California Highway Patrol, kind of setting the scene for what they're going to be doing here. She actually told me a really interesting tidbit that I had not heard before. This could have been worse had it not been for the fact that there was a CHP officer within a couple miles of this accident when it took place. He saw the smoke billowing up and was able to respond and alert the appropriate authorities to get more folks out here to handle, of course, the traumatic circumstances. Could have saved lives, potentially. Now, we do know that the accident investigation team is going to be here and matched by the NTSB. I'm not exactly sure what their role will be. The CHP doesn't know yet, but we'll know much more coming up at about 10 o'clock this morning when there's a press conference. When we have that information additionally, we'll be sure to bring it to you. Reporting live from Orland, Sam Brock, NBC Bay Area News.
Sam, are they giving you updates on the roadway as well? We know southbound I-5 way up there is now open. Northbound, I would imagine they're still investigating. So much wreckage out there.
Right. We were told the last update we had was that northbound should be clearing up at some point after 7 o'clock. But I can tell you right now, we're all actually positioned on the northbound side of the highway. It would be a liability certainly to everybody out here if they were to open it up anytime soon. So we should get some forewarning as soon as we know more about that and what the impacts will be to the folks trying to commute in the area. Be sure to pass that along as well.
All right. Thanks so much. Such a devastating crash.
Awful. In fact, a sleepless night for families in Southern California. Several high school students, they were on their way to tour a college campus. A fiery crash on Interstate 5 up in Glenn County. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott McGrew.
And I'm Laura Garcia Cannon. The tour bus, a FedEx truck, and a car also involved in that horrific crash. At least 10 people are dead, including 5 high school students. The crash happened on Interstate 5 in the town of Orland, very close to Chico, and about an hour and a half north of Sacramento. Today in the Bay, Sam Brock joins us live in Orland this morning near that wreckage. Sam, what are investigators telling you?
Laura, good evening. Scott, you as well. First of all, we knew that this was going to be a viscerally upsetting scene. Now that daylight is coming out, you can see behind me that there are investigators revealing exactly what they're going through. That absolutely charred skeletal bus. They're searching for pieces of glass and movements of some of the vehicles involved here to try to determine what exactly catalyzed that accident. It was only a few hours ago that they removed deceased bodies covered in tarps. Obviously, much left to be figured out here. They're still trying to determine what exactly might be in that bus once they remove it. And I'm told that could actually come very soon, that when we see tow trucks, then we will know that in fact the scene is going to clear. But in the meantime, they are going to gather as much evidence as they can. The NTSB is going to be coming in later today to help bolster those efforts. But in the meantime, there is so much that we don't know. We don't know what caused the FedEx driver to swerve over the median and to create that crash. We don't know how many families are informed. We don't know so many of the fundamental elements of this investigation. We posed that question to Lacey Heitman of California Highway Patrol. Why don't we know? What are you waiting for?
It takes them a couple months to get through all of the facts and the evidence and get through its lengthy reports and a lot of time and hours and effort that go into it, because it has to be meticulous, it has to be perfect, because those families and the people deserve to know the truth and know exactly what happened.
And there's no question the stakes are high. She's proving that there and talking about the fact that they need to be as comprehensive as possible in trying to complete this investigation. But you know what? It's not going to be anytime soon. The timetable that I've been provided for actually finding out why it was caused, maybe 2 months. The families may not even know today. So obviously many things that need to be fulfilled. We'll be staying on top of that. There'll be a press conference later today at about 10 o'clock. Hopefully we'll get some more information. We'll bring it to you then. For now, reporting live from Orland, I'm Sam Brock, NBC Bay Area News. Back to you.
Sam, appreciating you don't know necessarily, you hinted there are still things on the bus. Are we talking about bodies possibly still that would raise the death toll?
That was what was intimated to me this morning when we spoke with Ms. Heitman. We said, where have you found those bodies? Have they been removed? And when did that happen? And she said it occurred overnight, but in fact, until they actually moved the buses, they don't know what they might find. So the suggestion was, yes, it is possible.
Okay, Sam Brock, it just got an awful scene there, and sometimes you don't find bodies until later. Sam Brock, thank you ever so much.
People with families.
Yeah, wrenching tragedy unfolding, continuing to unfold as we speak.
And we're getting so many new details, including some new video as well. This is cell phone video just into our newsroom. You can see the size of that crash. We now know 10 people are dead, including 5 high school students.
A FedEx truck and a car also involved in this crash. All 3 vehicles still in the roadway, so the northbound stretch of Interstate 5 shut down for at least another hour.
We'll have team coverage as the investigation unfolds, but let's begin live with Today in the Bay's Sam Brock, who is live near the very spot where that bus crashed in Orland. Good morning, Sam.
Let's begin there. Good morning, and let me actually pick up with what Scott just said regarding the 3 vehicles that are still out there on Interstate 5. I am told that actually around 9 or 10 o'clock they will be removed, and it's a yeoman's effort to try to get it done. So there's going to be a number of different tow services that are going to be coming out to kind of in piecemeal move all of that stuff, that debris, and they, of course, burnt structure, burnt metal away, and we'll find out what they uncover under there. CHP tells me they're not entirely sure what they will find. In terms of what else is going on right now, over my shoulder you can see the folks from the CHP's accident investigative team going out there. They're actually using surveyor structures and lasers within them to create spatial relationships. I just learned that actually from a colleague. That's what they're out doing right now to try to recreate the accident scene and to find out exactly what happened and when it happened. We know that this has been obviously an extremely fatal and extremely upsetting event for the folks in this area. We have confirmed, as you both said earlier, that there were 10 people that have died at this point. We know that half of those were students, and there are many parents still trying to demand more information, get more information about what happened. The timeline for that, certainly in terms of any sort of comprehensive, in-depth dimension, could be several months. But hopefully today there'll be a press conference. The NTSB is getting here around 11 o'clock or 12, I'm told. We'll have at least more information to offer you then. We'll see you then. Reporting live from Orland, I'm Sam Brock, NBC Bay Area News.
It looks like
It
looks like, Sam, they have a really large amount of investigators out there, I guess because it was such a huge crash scene.
Yeah, I mean, I would presume so. I would say it would appear to be 15 or 20 individuals if I had to estimate, and I have no idea in terms of the scope and size of the NTSB team that's coming later today. But they are apparently wrapping up, I am told. They've done most of the work. They've been here all night, and we'll find out what they've uncovered, hopefully in a couple hours.
All right. In the meantime, we're still waiting to hear about